Coming up on News 11, SUNY Fredonia's spring enrollment is up for the first time in years, the search for Nancy Guthrie continues, and the Chinese New Year has an unusual mascot. All of this and more, News 11 starts right now.
Good evening and welcome back to News 11. I'm Alex Matt.
And I'm Jenna Polito.
We have a lot of exciting stories to cover, so let's get started with your local news. Recently, SUNY Fredonia has achieved increased in spring-to-spring enrollment in 8 years. For the current 2026 spring semester, the university's total enrollment stands at 2,995 students, a 1.2% increase from 2,950 in spring of 2025. Vice President for Enrollment Management and Services, Catherine Kendall, had this to say, quote, "This spring's increase, while modest, is significant," end quote. The increased enrollment does not stop at the spring semester, as our recent 2025 J-term, the short academic term between the spring and fall semesters, saw an overall enrollment increase of 6%, and the total credit hours increased 24% year over year, which was mostly driven by the increase in number of in-demand graduate offerings.
The American Democracy Project is set to host the panel Reimagining Democracy, Gen Z Activism Across Communities and Borders this Thursday from 2 p.m. to 3:15 in the Williams Center Room S204. The aim of the panel is to bring faculty and students together to explore how young people are engaging in civic life through protesting, culture, and digital media, particularly in the U.S., but also around the globe. Some panelists include Dr. Jeanette McVicker of the Ethnic and Gender Studies program, Dr. Sandra Liggins, an Associate Professor of English, as well as Kira Noren, a junior political science major with a minor in English, who is serving as a student representative. Dr. Angela McGowan-Kirsch, the chair of the American Democracy Project, said, quote, "By bringing together global, cultural, and student perspectives, we hope to spark meaningful conversations about the future of democracy," end quote.
2026 marks the 200-year anniversary of Fredonia's educational institutions, and the community has worked together to plan a wide array of events to celebrate the occasion. Bicentennial-themed programs have already begun, and students will be able to find them all the way until the end of the 2026-2027 academic year. The formal bicentennial celebrations will officially begin with a kickoff and convocation on September 18th, including a keynote address by National Geographic explorer Chris Bastianelli. Stephen H. Collison, Jr., president of SUNY Fredonia, said, quote, "What this celebration means is more than an anniversary. It is a period of time to reflect on where we started, all that to say we have accomplished despite many challenges, and reaffirm our commitment to a sustained relevance far into the future," end quote. In 2021, Collison worked together with the Fredonia College Foundation to establish the Bicentennial Fund, a scholarship fund designed to, quote, "help students achieve their dream of a higher education and to enhance social mobility for themselves and their families," end quote. Students and community members can find more about Fredonia's bicentennial, including a calendar of events and a timeline of Fredonia's history, at 200.fredonia.edu.
A message to the community and staff from Brooks TLC Hospital speaks to growing positive momentum that is tied to the building of the state-of-the-art facility that will be located at 412 East Main Street in Fredonia. In a letter outlining achievements from 2025, Chris Lansky, board president, emphasizes the future direction of Brooks TLC with notable statistics: 1,148 inpatient admissions, 18,782 emergency department visits, 3,791 surgeries, and 101,103 outpatient visits. The board lauds improved patient satisfaction, clinical excellence, and highlights the expansion of the services and new outreach locations to enhance access to care. With New York State committing $74 million to a new facility, there are plans for a modernized center in northern Chautauqua County to enhance emergency and outpatient services, including an expanded emergency department and helipad. The board expresses pride in their care teams and optimism for a sustainable healthcare future, with ongoing partnerships aiming to improve health outcomes for the community.
The Dunkirk Martyrs celebrated a 4-year-old who beat cancer last Wednesday. The 4-year-old was celebrated in a pregame ceremony for his defeat of a rare form of cancer. The child's name is Kyrie Collier, and he attends nearly every Dunkirk game, celebrating his home team and older cousin from the sidelines. From the sidelines, he was welcomed to center court, where his cousin and his mother greeted him with flowers and a gift basket. The celebration of the young Kyrie was not only celebrated by the home team, but the away team as well, with all 5 Allegheny Limestone starters giving Kyrie fist bumps. The Martyrs ended up winning against Allegheny, leading to a storybook night for everyone involved.
The town of Mayville made good use of the past month of very cold temperatures. This past weekend, they had their annual Winterfest, featuring an ice castle made from ice blocks weighing over 1 million pounds in total. The 2,000 ice blocks came from Chautauqua Lake, cut by local BOCES students and assembled over the course of 3 weeks. The castle has multiple themed rooms, such as a Valentine's Day room, and even one with a knight in shining armor. The community loves Winterfest as a time to come together and break up the quiet winter season.
What started as a lucky win for one turned into an act of generosity for many. Edmund Baggs of Buffalo recently won a $1,000 certificate to Minio's Pizza and decided to pay his luck forward. Baggs ordered 3 sheet pizzas and a bucket of wings before headed downtown to share the food with the people experiencing homelessness. The raffle, which was designed to support local students through the Sam Sergi Memorial Scholarship, is now supporting both local students and making an impact far beyond just one winner. Baggs commented on his actions saying, quote, "I've been blessed, and I guess I'm blessed. I want to bless other people," end quote.
Last Thursday, New York State lawmakers revisited the development of the National Guard inside state prisons during a joint legislative hearing concerning New York's public protection budget. The National Guard was first deployed to the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision facilities in February of 2025 during a statewide strike by corrections officers over unsafe working conditions inside state prisons. The strike forced the state to scramble for personnel to maintain security and keep essential services running inside facilities. National Guard soldiers are still working inside state prisons, and the DOCCS Commissioner, Daniel Muscatello III, defended the National Guard's role against concerns raised by some lawmakers and advocates. New York State Senator Julia Salazar said, quote, "I've repeatedly heard from the DOCCS staff and incarcerated individuals that the National Guard is generally not playing a helpful role in prison operations," end quote. Commissioner Muscatello argued, quote, "The National Guard is certainly helping us provide a better work-life balance. We're not where we need to be for staff," end quote. Muscatello acknowledged that it is not, however, a long-term solution. The Guard's role is a part of Kathy Hochul's Recover, Recruit, and Rebuild initiative, launched in March 2025. $535 million already have been budgeted for this project, and spending on this mission is projected to exceed $1.2 billion in the 2027 executive budget. And when we return, we will have your national stories. We'll be right back.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
On a Wednesday, evening last month in Minneapolis, Alfredo Alejandro Ahorna was making deliveries as a DoorDash driver when he was being followed by ICE agents. Alhorna's attorney states that when he drove home, he was attacked by an agent, where Alhorna broke free and ran into the house where his cousin stood. Alfredo's cousin, Julio Cesar Sosa Celis, was standing at the door where he claimed that his cousin was shot in the leg by an ICE agent. The Department of Homeland Security took an account of the events and found that there were some conflicted narratives from Alhorna, Sosa Celis, and their family members. The Department of Homeland Security claimed that Sosa Celis was driving the car and that, quote, another man had assaulted the agent before the agent fired his weapon, end quote. The Department of Justice supported the criminal charges against the two men to start off, but then on that Thursday, the DOJ looked to drop criminal charges of both Alhorna and Sosa Celis and said that, quote, federal prosecutors provided incorrect information to the court while ICE issued a statement admitting its federal agents made, quote, false statements, end quote, under oath. The two ICE agents have been placed on administrative leave while the DOJ investigates the problem. However, this has not been the only claims against agents conducting questionable actions of force. There may have been many government credibility issues that have to do with different cases like the killing of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Senior CNN legal analyst Honig has stated that, quote, it's mind-boggling that DHS continues this pattern of making immediate, definitive statements about what happened that are very quickly disproved by actual evidence, end quote. Since the event, Sosa Celis and Alhorna have been relieved of charges.
An ongoing search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie has entered its third week, with mounted pressure on investigators and growing uncertainty within her family. Last seen on January 31st, before apparently being kidnapped from her secluded home in Arizona's Catalina foothills without her phone or critical medications. Since Guthrie has been taken, there have been purported ransom notes with the demand of millions of dollars. Through thorough investigations, heartbreaking videos of Guthrie's children pleading for the safe return of their mother, and a video released from officials of an armed, masked individual tampering with the doorbell camera at Guthrie's home. As of February 17th, 2026, the Pima County Sheriff announced Tuesday afternoon that the DNA they tested from the gloves found near Guthrie's home did not match the DNA found at her home, or did they find any matches in their national database known as the Combined DNA Index System, or CODIS. Further details are being awaited and monitored.
A shooting occurred at the hockey rink in Rhode Island this past Monday. According to the Pawtucket mayor's office, there is at least one person dead, 4 injured, and the shooter is also dead. The incident occurred at a hockey game between 2 nearby schools. Both of the school communities were notified after working with local law authorities. This is an ongoing investigation and a developing story.
Colin Gray, father of alleged teen school shooter, is set to trial for murder and manslaughter charges this Monday. The trial started Monday morning with opening statements and witness testimony, with the state also planning on testimonies from Gray's family, shooting survivors, and behavioral health experts. The trial is planned to last about 3 weeks. As of now, Gray has pleaded not guilty for nearly 30 charges, including second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. Reasons for the case stem from the shooting at Appalachia High School on September in 2024, where Colin's son Cole allegedly used an AR-15 style rifle to kill 2 students and 2 teachers. The then 14-year-old Colt Gray had surrendered to the police and admitted to the shooting. The previous, on December of 2023, Colin had brought his son the very same firearm he used in the shooting as a Christmas gift. The indictment alleged that Gray had allowed his son access to a dangerous weapon, even after warnings that his son would do harm and endanger others. Gray's actions had constituted as criminal negligence by allowing an unjustified risk. This trial is part of a push to deem more people to be accountable for the causations of school shootings, like parents and responding law enforcement. Colin Gray has also been in prison since his arrest the day after the shooting, and if convicted, could face 10 to 30 years for alleged murder and manslaughter charges. Meanwhile, Colt Gray has indicted 55 felony counts, including 4 accounts of malice murder, where he has pleaded not guilty. While no trial has been set for Colt Gray, his defense attorney raised the possibility that Gray may change his plea. Though, as of now, neither father or son have set trials, nor is it known what their trials may bring.
Up to 10,000 shipwrecks lie beneath the waves of the Great Lakes, most of which remain undiscovered. For one luxury steamer, however, the search had ended after it was located by a team of researchers led by shipwreck hunter Paul Ehorn. The Lac La Belle was a luxury ship built in Cleveland in 1864, running between Cleveland and Lake Superior. 2 hours into a trip between Milwaukee and Grand Haven, Michigan, on a windy October night in 1872, the ship began to take on water. When the captain tried to turn back, waves came crashing over the side, and the boilers were extinguished, leading him to order the lifeboats to be lowered at around 5 in the morning. One of the lifeboats capsized before reaching the shore, resulting in the deaths of 8 people, but the rest of the 53 passengers and crew made it to the Wisconsin coast safely. The Lac La Belle went down in Lake Michigan for about 20 miles offshore near Kenosha, Wisconsin, along with its cargo of whiskey, barley, flour, and pork, where it was found over 150 years later by Ehorn's team. Ehorn said that he has been searching for the ship since 1965, and after using a clue from fellow wreck hunter Ross Richardson to narrow his search, the shipwreck was discovered using sonar after just 2 hours. Ehorn said, quote, "It's kind of like a game, like solve the puzzle. Sometimes you don't have many pieces to put the puzzle together, but this one worked out and we found it right away," end quote. Ehorn declined to further discuss the clues that led to the discovery. Richardson said that he learned of a fisherman who has snagged an item specific to an 1800 steamship, but declined to elaborate on how competitive shipwreck hunting has become. Ehorn, now 80 years old, has now successfully located 15 shipwrecks since he began hunting for them at the age of 15, and his team plans to return to the site to create a 3-dimensional model of the wreck.
Fast food restaurant Wendy's released a statement last Friday that it plans to close hundreds of its restaurants in the first half of the year. CEO Ken Cook's decision to close, quote, consistently underperforming restaurants, end quote, have been made with Wendy's franchisees who can instead focus on stores that may return more profit. Wendy's U.S. sales are consistently down, with same-store sales falling again during the last quarter of 2025 by 11.3%, according to the company's earnings. Cook said Wendy's has focused too much on limited-time promotions, but is now focusing on everyday value, including changes to its Biggie Meals. Wendy's expanded its Biggie offerings in January to include the $4 Biggie Bag and $6 Biggie Bag and $8 Biggie Bundle that could appeal to value-conscious consumers who are pulling back on discretionary spending, like eating out due to inflation pressures. And last year, Cook said its newly released chicken tenders, called Tendies, were performing well amid same-store sale declines. And when we return, Ryan Fink joins us for the first time with our sports update, and we'll have your first look at the weather. We'll be right back.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
We've been down there. You gotta do the same. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. Selective service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service.
We are now joined by Ryan, who will be giving us our weekly sports update. What's going on in sports, Ryan?
Thanks, Alex. The annual Pink the Rink event took place this past Friday, hosted by the Fredonia's men's hockey team to raise awareness and fundraise for the American Cancer Society. The event began in 2008 and has raised over $125,000 for cancer research. The team came away with a 4-3 win, with goals scored by Cash Anderson, Keenan McNeil, Ethan Pitzman, and the overtime winning goal scored by Owen Cross. Men and women's basketball were also home this weekend. The women took home 2 wins this weekend against Potsdam and Plattsburgh, respectively. The men came away with a win on Friday, also against Potsdam, the final score hitting 91-89. Men and women's indoor track were away this weekend and took home some big wins, with 3 of the women placing in the top 10. Yuavani Littlelow in the triple jump, Emily Cardinal in the long jump, and Alexi Sheen with her 10th place finish in the 60-meter hurdles with a time of 9.93 seconds. And now we'll toss it back to Alex for our weather forecast. What do you have for us, Alex?
Thank you, Ryan. Today we learned that Punxsutawney Phil might have been wrong about 6 more weeks of winter, as we saw spring in full effect today. With a high of 44 degrees, we also saw cloudy skies with a 94% chance of rain showers throughout the day. Heading into the night, we saw the temperature drop down to a low of 31 degrees, and those rain showers let up as overnight they will develop into a fog. Tomorrow we will see about the same with a high of 44 degrees again. We will have cloudy skies, but won't see as much rain with only a 20% chance. We will see some strong gusts of wind, as we head into the night, we will drop down to a low of 38 degrees. Unfortunately, we may not continue to see that spring weather this weekend, so stay tuned for our weekend forecast. And when we return, we will have your international headlines. We'll be right back.
To Sofia and Gabriel, mis flores, my little flowers. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love, so you can take me with you wherever you go, near or far. These stitches and threads join us together. Me, your mother, and both of you. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kiss them all soundly, and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Austrian prosecutors have charged a suspect arrested shortly before the 2024 Taylor Swift concert in Vienna with a terrorism-related charge. The suspect said he planned to carry out a, quote, Islamist militant attack, end quote. The Vienna prosecutors state that the 21-year-old suspect had a small amount of explosives triacetone triperoxide and was, quote, attempting to purchase weapons illegally, end quote. The suspect was not named but lives in a small town near Vienna, and media outlets identified him as Bahrain A, who was the only one arrested and had connections to the attack. The suspect was also linked to the Islamic State group and was accused of conducting research on a type of shrapnel bomb that would be used by the group to spread Islamic State, quote, propaganda material, end quote, across the internet. If the suspect is convicted of the crime, he faces up to 20 years in prison, outlets say.
The UK government is cracking down on illegal content from AI chatbot services such as ChatGPT and Grok. This comes after Grok was generating sexual content of women and children for users to see. The UK government immediately launched a formal investigation and the feature on the app was disabled. This sparked new action by the government to protect young people on social media apps. This will be in the form of an amendment to the Crime and Policing Bill, which will force AI companies to comply with guidelines under the Online Safety Act. They hope to be able to enforce a 16-year-old age minimum to be on the apps. Once on the apps, ideally there will be features that hinder infinite scrolling and that have safeguards around nude images and private chatbots. This is reflective of a global concern with young people and social media, as also seen in the landmark case currently taking place in Los Angeles.
A driver in an endurance race in Australia was thrown into chaos when his car struck a kangaroo at 250 miles per hour on Sunday. The Bathurst 12-hour endurance race at Mount Panorama Circuit in New South Wales, Australia, began with an unusual start. Just 20 minutes into the race, a kangaroo ran out in front of a Ford Mustang GT3 driven by two-time champion Christopher Mize on the fastest section of the track. After carefully guiding the car to a stop on the side of the track, Mize made it out unharmed. However, the same could not be said about his Mustang or the kangaroo. Mize said, quote, the issue is I couldn't see anything anymore. The windshield was fully smashed. My eyes were full of blood and guts from the kangaroo, so I had to clean them first because I had no idea where I was, end quote. Mize said that he was also sick as a result of the sights and smells of the gruesome scene, adding, quote, I already had 2 showers and I still have the smell in my nose. I can tell you that the inside of a kangaroo does not smell very nice, end quote. Due to the damage, the team was forced to take the car out of the race, but Mize says that he was relieved to have avoided a serious injury. Quote, the moment I saw it was the impact. It was very unfortunate and it was quite a big one, but honestly, I'm glad we have such a safe car race. I mean, half of the kangaroo was inside, so I'm glad I'm standing here now, end quote. And after the break, a look at Oscar winner Robert Duvall's passing, Chappell Roan on leaving her talent agency, and Draco Malfoy as Lunar New Year mascot. We'll be right back.
When you think of the local lowdown, what do you think of?
Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music that we have played in the studio.
It's gotta be the laughs we shared. The memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's gotta be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
Oscar-winning actor Robert Duvall has passed away at the age of 95 after a screen career that spanned 6 decades. According to a statement sent by his public relations agency on behalf of his wife, Luciana, he died peacefully at his home in Middleburg, Virginia this past Sunday. Throughout Duvall's career, he was most known for his tough guy roles, most notable for being the Corleone family concierge in The Godfather, where he earned his first of 7 Academy Award nominations prior to his career in acting. Duvall served in the Army during the Korean War before he moved to New York to study drama under acting coach Sanford Meisner. Duvall continued his career well into the 2010s, where he received his final Oscar nomination at age 84 for The Judge in 2014. In 2004, Duvall was also awarded the National Medal of Arts during the Bush administration. A representative's statement on Monday added that there will be no formal service held and instead, quote, "The family encourages those who wish to honor his memory to do so in a way that reflects the life he lived by watching a great film, telling a story around a table with friends, or taking a drive in the countryside to appreciate the world's beauty," end quote.
This past Monday, Grammy Award-winning singer Chappell Roan has announced that she has left the talent agency led by Casey Wasserman. This announcement from the artist came after emails were released by the U.S. Justice Department showing an exchange of flirtatious messages with Ghislaine Maxwell from more than 20 years ago. The emails were released last month as part of the department's release of millions of documents relating to the investigation of Maxwell's partner, the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Wasserman, who is a major figure in the entertainment industry as both the CEO of Wasserman Talent Agency and as the head of the coordinating committee for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, is facing calls to step down from his roles amid the email's release. On Monday, Roan posted a statement to her Instagram story saying, quote, "As of today, I am no longer represented by Wasserman. No artist, agent, or employee should ever be expected to defend or overlook the actions that conflict so deeply with our own moral values," end quote. Although some of the aspects of Wasserman's association with Epstein were already known, the release of these emails show a far more intimate and deeper relationship with Maxwell than was previously revealed. Like Chappell Roan, a handful of other artists represented by the Wasserman Talent Agency have announced their intention to leave, many calling on Wasserman himself to step down and even change his business's name for her name to be removed from the company website.
As China celebrates their Lunar New Year, an unlikely face has been added to their festivities this year. Draco Malfoy, Harry Potter's villain from the Wizarding World, has emerged as a symbol of fortune in China. His good fortune is in his name Malfoy, which in Mandarin is translated as Ma or Fu, the first word Ma, which means horse, and the third word Fu, referring to good fortune, so Malfoy's last name, all read together, sounds like horses are bringing good luck. As the Year of the Horse began yesterday, February 17th, and ending the Year of the Snake, another notable animal for Malfoy. As the symbol of Slytherin, his house at Hogwarts, he quickly became an icon for this Lunar New Year with videos on social media showing people adorning their houses with Fai Chun, posters carrying well-wishing phrases with Draco added to them. Tom Felton, who played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter film series, even joined the fun, where he posted a picture on his Instagram of a giant banner hanging at the atrium of a Chinese shopping mall, featuring his character in his wizard costume. Now I'm going to toss it to Jenna one more time tonight for the end of the weekend weather. How does it look, Jenna?
Thank you, Alex. Friday, we will see the rain come back with a high of 45 degrees and a 61% chance of showers throughout the day. As we head into the night, the temperature will drop down to a low of 30 degrees, and we may see those rain showers start to turn into snow. On Saturday, we will continue to see those low temperatures, again with a high of 34 degrees. We will see cloudy skies with a 32% chance of snow showers as we drop down to a low of 27 degrees at night. We will definitely be seeing those snow showers continue. And on Sunday, it doesn't get much better as we will continue those snow showers with a 54% chance and a high of 31 degrees. And heading into the night, we'll see a low of 22 degrees with those continued snow showers. And that's all we have for your weather this week.
That does it for News 11. Thank you to our behind-the-scenes crew. We'll be back next week.
As always, thank you to everyone watching at home. Have a great night.